If you read slowly, it is not your fault. Every single person on the face of the planet has a fingerprint unlike anyone else's, even identical twins. That's just one of the many things that makes us each unique and special in our own way. Another thing that sets us apart as individuals is our unique learning style. I've been trained by top sales professionals, and one of the things we focused on is how people learn. Often, the way you learn is similar to the way you speak. You can actually tell how a person learns just by listening to the words they say. When you start to pay attention to the specific words people use to describe their experiences in life, you'll be amazed at how much more quickly you can get to know someone. There are as many unique learning styles as there are individuals. However, most learning styles tend to fall under one of three different categories, namely auditory, visual, or kinesthetic. While the majority of people gain knowledge through a combination of all three learning styles, knowing and taking advantage of the primary learning style that comes naturally to you and to others if you're teaching someone else is essential for enhancing and enjoying the educational experience as much as possible. To take this one step further, if you're in the business of sales, knowing someone's learning style is money in the bank. The ability to quickly pick up on how someone learns will allow you to communicate in a manner they truly understand, and your connection will be stronger, which usually leads to a positive outcome such as building rapport and, eventually, making the sale. The opposite is true too. For example, if someone is an auditory learner and you're showing them charts, graphs, and statistics, you might lose the person's interest and lose the sale while you're at it. This is why matching the style of the other person is very important. And the sooner you can master this skill, the quicker you'll become more successful at connecting with others. How to identify your primary learning style? How do you correctly identify which one of the three major learning styles you tend to lean toward naturally? There are several common factors that are noticeable in people who share each primary learning style. We'll start with auditory. Auditory learners do best when they're able to absorb and comprehend information by listening. They understand, remember, and are more receptive to information they hear. If you're an auditory learner, hearing information and speaking during the learning process is essential if you want to learn and retain more information more quickly and easily. Do you often find yourself doing any of the following things? Reading out loud, moving your lips while reading silently, or preferring to discuss information and ideas with others? If so, you're likely an auditory learner and will benefit the most from teaching styles that include being able to hear and listen to the information shared. Auditory learners will often use words and language that utilize sound words, such as, "I hear what you're saying," "clear as a bell," "lend me your ear," "pay attention to," or "does that sound right?" Listen for sound words, such as hear, sound, clear, and listen. When you hear someone using several words, phrases, or metaphors that relate to hearing, it's likely they are an auditory learner. Let's move on to visual. Visual learners remember and are more receptive to information they can see. However, unlike auditory learners, this primary learning group is often divided into two major subgroups, linguistic and spatial. People who are visual linguistic learners do best when they can absorb and comprehend information through reading and writing. They tend to remember things they see written down and pay better attention to interactions they can watch. Unlike their counterparts, individuals who are visual spatial learners do not do well with the written word. Instead, they learn best by using diagrams, charts, illustrations, videos, and other similar visual tools. If you want to know if you learn primarily through the visual style, look for clues in the following habits. Visualizing what you learn in your mind. Remembering things once you write them down. Using colors and pictures to enhance the learning experience. Visual learners tend to use language such as